at the end. So before we start, if you're under the age of 16, please make sure you have an adult with you. If you're pregnant, make sure you have something to pop underneath your head and shoulders if we're lying supine, and no deep twists. So we're just going to do a Vinyasa flow class tonight. So for anyone that's not done that before, it means we just kind of link breath to movement. It's pretty much what we do every night anyway. We are just going to move through postures in time with our breath. The class is going to flow. It's going to always be moving. It's not going to be a super mad one tonight. It's just going to be a little bit gentler. Although I am going to freestyle it, so who knows? It might change halfway through, depending on how the flow goes. So if you have any injuries, any aches or pains, anything, or you're not feeling 100%, you're still very welcome to stay and take the class. You just want to be extra mindful of those areas. Obviously, I'm not there to make sure you're okay, but at the end of the day, no one knows their body like you. So you will know if something's wrong. Take a break, have a drink of water, rejoin us when you're ready. Always do as much or as little of the class as you would like, and don't feel pressured into doing the whole thing. So things that might feel really good for me and my body might not feel so good for you, whereas things that feel good for you might not feel good for me. We're all completely different. So I'm gonna just urge you guys to just listen to your body and try and think about feeling good rather than looking good on the mat. We're gonna leave our ego at the door. So yes, if your yoga practice today is that you would rather just spend the next 45 minutes lying on your back on the mat, then by all means be my guest. Yoga is so much more than our physical asana, so if that's where your practice is at today, then that is absolutely fine. So bring yourself onto your mat. We're going to start seated. Come to a comfortable seat. You can come to your Sukhasana, your easy pose, if you would like, which is cross-legged. If this is just not in your practice, that's fine. You can take a rolled up blanket or a yoga block or cushion and pop it underneath your sit bones, or you can come to a seated position that works for you. So as I said, not everything is going to feel good for everyone. So for me, cross-legged feels very comfortable, but it might not work for you. So find a seat that does. You're going to plant your palms on your knees, drop the shoulders, lift through the spine, open the heart, extend the neck. And let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. And again, inhale, send the air towards the bottom of the lungs, filling them like a glass all the way to the top. And on the exhale, reverse the breath, pull the navel in towards the spine. And start to tune into your body, tune into your breath. Feel that gentle rhythm start to take over. You want to feel that breath wash through you. And on the exhale, push it out and take with it anything that isn't serving a purpose for you in this moment. So we always want to teach our bodies to breathe that little bit deeper, teach our bodies to take in more air. Inhale, maybe you pause for a second at the top of your breath before you exhale, release. So we're tuning into that conscious breath. We're leaving behind our intuitive breath, the breath that carries on in the background of our life. So our conscious breath is when we really think about our breath, we deepen our breath, we concentrate on the breath. So we're bringing ourselves into the present moment, we're leaving the past and the future behind. And when we activate our conscious breath, we are tapping into the evolved part of the brain, the cerebral cortex, and that's what gives us that feeling of being calm and relaxed. So keep that breath flowing and start to pull the shoulders from the ears. Allow your neck to lengthen. Release any tightness in your facial features. Make sure you're not frowning, furrowing the brow, or wrinkling your nose or anything. Start to unlock your jaw and unclench your back teeth. And just drop that tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. So I'm going to set our theme and our intention for the class today, and our theme and intention is going to be opening the heart. So this can be interpreted however you would like. So for example, in yoga, when we open the heart, it might be an extension like a back bend or cat-cow. But also you can be opening your heart to your practice. You can take this intention past the mat and you can take it out into your life and think about what opening your heart means out there off your mat. So I like to have an intention that you can use both on and off the mat, because maybe it doesn't work for you on the mat. Maybe you think, actually, I don't like that intention in my yoga practice, so I'm going to take it off the mat, and that's absolutely fine. So today we're going to work our way towards our camel pose, so our heart is truly open. And let's take a deep breath. You can keep your eyes closed if you want to, or you can open them. We're going to just start to roll the head from shoulder to shoulder. A gentle mobilization of the neck. Maybe you want to turn it into a full head roll. Maybe you want to start to roll the shoulders up to the ears, down the spine, and don't worry if it's not a regimented movement. Really just start to move into your body. We just want to get those fluids flowing. Start to take it into your body. Just start to move yourself around. Maybe pick the hips up off the ground as you circle yourself and just let loose a little bit. And really just get into that movement. The lovely thing about practicing from home is if you're ever shy in a studio at home, you can really just do whatever you would like. And bring yourself back to center. Lovely. Drop your left hand behind you like a secondary spine and your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Sit tall on the inhale, and as you exhale, push the left knee away with your right hand. That back arm wants to stay straight and long, neck lengthened, shoulders down. So when we're twisting, we're releasing toxins from the organs, we're detoxifying, so that when we release the twist, we're allowing fresh blood to run through the organs. Deep breath. Exhale to draw yourself back to center. Drop the right hand behind the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Sit tall as you inhale. Exhale to push against that right knee with the left hand. Back arm wants to be a support pose, not a leaning pose. So we're getting nice and deep into that twist. So twists are a good way to release tension. They're good for sciatica. They're good for back pain. Gently bring yourself back to center. Drop your left hand in line with your left hip, your right arm up and over. Imagine someone's pulling on those right fingertips. Push into the right hip, but keep your bum cheeks glued to the mat. If you want to, you can drop onto that left forearm. Keep the right arm in line with the right ear, the neck long, the shoulders down, and reach as though someone's trying to pull extra inches out of the right side of your body. And remember, this is a lateral stretch, so we're stretching the side of our body. We're still stretching our spine, but we want to stretch through the side. It's not a forward fold or a back bend. Deep breath here, inhale. And as you exhale, reaching the arms across to the other side, the right hand in line with the right hip, forearm if you want to, left arm up and over, reach those left fingers towards the right side of the room. Energy releasing from the fingertips. And the reason that we always do this spinal twists, the lateral bend, and then our cat-cow at the beginning of the class is because when you're doing a yoga class, especially a flow class, you want to stretch the spine 6 ways before you start moving. Deep breath here, inhale. And exhale, and that really centers you. It really kind of gets the fluids flowing. Place your palms in front and tuck the legs. Bring yourself into an all fours position on the mat. You want to kind of do a little claw with your hands so that your wrists are not completely flat on the mat. Feet can be tops of the feet down or toes tucked under. It's completely up to you. And let's straighten that spine. Pull the navel in to begin with and just engaging the core here. So we take a deep breath, inhale, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, push through the palms, the knees, the feet, and feel that energy growing between you and the mat. Deep breath, almost like you're hovering. And exhale. On your next inhale, you're going to drop the navel, lift the tail, lift the head, open the heart. Exhale. So again, this is the last of the stretching the spine in 6 ways. Crown of the head towards the floor, spread the shoulders. Inhale, hollow out the lower back. Cow pose. Exhale into your cat pose. So if you are happy here, mobilizing your spine and your cat-cow, please feel free to continue. If you would like to freestyle this movement, then start to get your wiggle on. Really get as weird as you might like here. So you can just start to push your energy into all the corners of the body. We want to wake up our limbs, every finger, every toe, necks, shoulders, backs, bums, legs, arms. If you have a specific body part you want to work, then just push into that body part. Maybe it's the feet, maybe it's the backs of the arms and the wrists. Maybe you want to drop forward into a cobra, release your lower back. Maybe you want to push back into your balasana. Whatever you're doing, really connect your breath to the movement. Get as weird and wiggly as you'd like. And as I said every night, if you ever have a day where you just can't be bothered to do a full class, or you don't have the time or the energy, you don't feel good, do this for a couple of minutes. This is a really nice way to just get the fluids flowing around the body. It can energize you in the morning. Maybe you want to do it first thing when you wake up if you're feeling a bit groggy. Also, if you're like me and you carry a lot of nervous or anxious energy, having a little wiggle before you go to bed is always a good thing. So I really enjoy that these classes are at 7:30 because it gets out all my anxious energy ready for bed. Because I do generally go to bed at about 8:30. And just keep that movement flowing. And while you're wiggling, I want you to start to wiggle your bums towards the back of your mat. You want to feel those toes touch the floor behind the mat, and then you're going to stop. And we're just going to start to drop our arms forward, bringing ourselves into our extended puppy, our heart chakra pose. So you're drawing the heart towards the mat. Reach the arms straight ahead. So feet, again, can be tops of the feet on the mat or tuck the toes. Pull your navel in. You can also come up onto the fingers. That's going to get into your shoulders. Stretch the chest, stretch the abdomen. You can gaze straight ahead or you can bring the forehead to the mat. Deep breath in. And exhale. Drop the palms. Start to pull the chest along the mat. We're going to bring our hips to the floor, straighten the legs, tops of the feet down. Lift the chest, bring yourself into your Sphinx pose. So forearms on the mat, heart open, shoulders down. Start to engage your legs, so point the toes. The knees will slightly lift. You want to push the thighs and the hips into the mat. And that's going to give you that engagement in the glutes, the hamstrings, the bums, and the lower back. Lift the shoulders. Pull the shoulder blades apart and down. And neck long, heart open, deep breath. So you can stay here. Or if you'd like to, you can draw the arms back slightly, tuck the elbows into the side, and lift yourself into your baby cobra. You can also take a full cobra, which is a deeper back bend. So if you've got a really deep back bend, you might want to do that. But make sure you feel that curve in your entire spine, not just the lower back. You want a nice equal distribution of weight. If you only feel it in your lower back, then you want to bring yourself slightly out of the stretch so you feel it everywhere. Deep breath here. Gently bring your heels together, knees apart, sit back into your child's pose for one breath. Inhale. Exhale, rock forward, all fours position. Maybe shuffle yourself into the center of your mats. Tuck your toes under. Take a breath, spread the fingers, and on the exhale, you're going to push up into a downward facing dog. Give those legs a little walk out here. Maybe give the hips a little wiggle. So if you need to bend the knees here, especially if it's your first downward dog of the day, then please do. I'm going to. So shoulders spread,
Fingers spread, shoulders away from the ears and externally rotated. Feet want to be about hip width apart, maybe a little bit further if you like. Navel to spine, and the spine wants to be straight. So this is really important. So what you want to avoid is straight legs and a curve in the back like this. You want a nice straight spine. You want to decompress through the spine. So if to achieve that you need to bend the legs, then please do. Take a deep breath here. On the inhale, you're going to reach that right leg all the way up towards the sky. Bend the right knee and gaze underneath the right armpit. So you can stay here if you would like, or you can walk that leg all the way over and bring yourself into your Wild Thing pose. If you're staying in your Wild Thing pose, we're going to hold for 3, 2, and 1. Everybody is going to bring themselves back to their 3-legged dog. You're going to take that right leg. You're going to pass it underneath the body. Straight the right leg. Shift the weight onto the right hand and the left foot. And reach that left arm up and over. Give yourself a nice open heart here. A little bend in the back. Take a breath. Shift your weight back into your downward facing dog. Just walk the feet out here. Lovely, everybody. And start to roll onto the balls of the feet. Lift the heels. Exhale, lower. So we're just going to work into those calves and hamstrings. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, we lift. Still pulling that heart towards the floor. Exhale, we lower. Navel into the spine. So here we are stretching the calves and hamstrings, the backs of our legs. If you have tight calves and hamstrings, this might be a nice one for you. And let's go for one more of those. Lovely. Take a breath. That left leg's going to come up towards the sky. 3-legged dog. Bend the left knee and gaze underneath the left armpit. So you can stay here or you can walk the whole way over. Bring yourself into a Wild Thing pose, opening your heart, lifting the hips nice and high. And if you're in Wild Thing, we're going to hold here. 3, 2, and 1. Very gently. You're going to bring yourself all the way back around. Drop the left hand, lift the right hand. The left leg's going to come out in front. Reach that right arm up, open the heart, give yourself a little back bending, a deep breath. As you exhale gently, slowly, shift yourself back into a downward facing dog. Take a breath. The right leg's going to come all the way up towards the sky. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. And then drop that right foot. Drop the back knee. Untuck that left foot. And you're going to bring yourself into your low lunge. So, low lunge. You're going to bring your arms in line with your ears. Stretching our hip flexors, hips squared to the front. We are strengthening the quads, front of the thigh, and the hamstrings, back of the thigh. Deep breath here. As we exhale, pull the elbows out to the side, so we're opening our heart. So we're keeping with that theme. And if you want to, you can stay here. If you want to go further, you can drop the arms behind you. You can interlace the fingers behind your back, draw the shoulders together, open your heart further. And for those of you that are feeling super bendy today and really want to get a deep heart, a deep opening in the heart, a deep extension in the spine, you're going to start to drop the hands down the back of the leg towards the mat. Give yourself that little back bend. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your palms into the small of your back. Bend the left knee and straighten the right leg, flexing the right foot and pulling the right toes in towards your calf. So half split. Let's counter that back bend. So you're going to start to hinge forward at the hips. So keeping those hips squared to the front, you're going to feel this in the right hamstring. Again, if you have any issues with your knees, feel free to pop a rolled up jumper or cushion or blanket underneath that back knee. So you've got options here. Option 1 is to bring your palms together as you hinge forward. So you're kind of balancing here. Option 2 is to drop your palms on either side of that front foot and start to hinge. What we want to avoid here is this. We don't want to
turn into the Hunchback of Notre Dame. We want to try, every time we're doing a forward bend, I want you to keep this visual. Belly on your thigh rather than head to the knee. Because what we tend to do is think, oh, I have to get my head to my knee. You don't want to do that. You want to get your belly to your thigh, and that way you're really hinging at the hips. You're keeping your spine nice and straight. You might not get as deep into the stretch straight away, and that's fine. It means we're keeping ourselves nice and aligned. It means we're not opening ourselves up for injuries in our hips, in our hamstrings, in our lower back. Pull yourself forward, deep breath. And as you exhale, you're going to plant the right leg back into your low lunge, frame the front foot. And you're going to lift yourself up and just give yourself a hug. So we're going to give ourselves a nice hug and just take hold of opposite shoulder blades. And from here, you guys will know from the other day, this is really good for strengthening the legs. We're going to tuck that left toe and we're going to lift that back leg and bring ourselves up into a high lunge. Reach those arms up in line with the ears, sink into that front knee bend. You might want to step that back foot in a little bit, that's fine as well. Make sure that right knee is above the right ankle. Deep breath here. As you exhale, turn the left foot out, send the left arm down the back of the left leg. The right arm comes up and over. Feel that nice stretch down the side of your body. Try not to turn this reverse warrior into a back bend. Deep breath. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the arms in line with the shoulders. Warrior two. Tuck the tailbone, lift through the chest. Sink into that front knee bend. Deep breath. Exhale to drop the right forearm onto the right thigh and the left arm comes up and over. Let me just switch sides. I don't know how I'm doing this with my back to you. Okay, Facebook, as usual, I'm cutting my head off, so I'm just going to move back a little bit. So, extended side angle pose. Keep that heart open. Remember, that's our theme. So what I want you to avoid here is hanging out the pub. You're kind of slouching forward. We don't want to do that. We want to keep that heart open, chest lifted. Deep breath. Think of a straight line from left finger to left foot. So you can hold here. You can open both arms, bringing yourself into your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Or if you want to go deeper still, take a bind. Right hand under right leg, left arm over the top, holding hands with yourself behind your back. Try in this pose not to bring yourself towards the ground. Keep the chest open, so always keeping our heart open today. And if you want to go further still from here, we can step that left foot all the way towards the front of the mat. Keep the bind, start to straighten the left, and lift that bound leg into your bird of paradise pose. And if you find your balance, you can start to straighten the right leg. Find a still spot to look at. Remember to hold for as long as you like, but keep enough in you to step out the way you came in. So bring yourself back to that lunge. From here, we are all going to straighten the front leg and open our arms, bringing ourselves into our Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Lift the left arm towards the sky. So if you want to make sure your hips are aligned, take your left hand to your left hip, make sure those shoulders and hands are nice and aligned. And that right hand can either be by your ankle or it can be anywhere on your leg, as long as the legs are straight, the hips are aligned, and your shoulders are stacked. Try not to lock out the legs as well, which locking the knees is probably the hardest thing. Everyone tends to do it, I tend to do it. It takes a lot to not lock them out. And I always say if you're a little bit uncomfortable in this pose, it probably means you're doing it right. Take a breath. Windmill both hands round on either side of that front foot. Step both feet back into your high plank position. Tuck your elbows in towards your side. You can either push straight back up into your downward facing dog, or you can come down through chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing, and push back. Downward facing dog. Well done, everyone. So I'm just going to switch sides again. Find it much easier to talk to you guys from this side. So we're going to do everything that we just did now on the left side. So from your down dog, that left leg is going to come all the way up towards the scap. We're going to draw the left knee in towards the chest. Bring that knee forward, plant the left foot, drop that back knee, Untuck the right foot, low lunge. Stretching the hip flexors, strengthening the quads, strengthening the hamstrings, arms up and under the ears. So, you can stay here, or you can open the heart, pull the elbows out to the side, pulling the shoulders together. You can drop the arms behind you, interlacing the fingers behind your back. Remember, these are all options. You don't have to do them all. Do whichever one feels good for you. Start to draw, if you want to get deeper into your spine, those hands all the way down towards the mat. Don't force yourself. Rest where it feels good. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, well done, and 1. Bring those palms into the small of your back. Bend the right leg, straighten the left. Flex that left foot, pulling the left toes in towards the calf. Okay, hips squared to the front like car headlights, getting into that left hamstring now, and countering that back bend with a little forward fold. So again, you can bring your palms together, hinge that way, or you could drop your palms down on either side of that front foot and start to hinge that way. Remember, belly to thigh, not head to knee. Deep breath, keep that spine aligned. Feel that nice juicy stretch through the hamstring, and pay attention as well to your body. So as I always say, satisfyingly uncomfortable is good, pain, not good. Any pain, you want to draw yourself out of the stretch. Deep breath here. And as you exhale, plant the left foot, bring yourself back into the low lunge. Lift yourself up and give yourself that hug so you're taking hold of opposite shoulder blades. Get ready. Tuck that right foot under. On the exhale, you're going to lift yourself up into a high lunge, reaching the arms up in line with the ears, hips under shoulders. Deep breath here. Exhale to turn the right foot out. Take the right arm down the back of the right leg. The left arm comes up and over. Give yourself that nice deep stretch down the left side of the body. Nice lateral stretch. Try not to turn it into a back bend. Deep breath here. Exhale to bring yourself back to your warrior 2. Tuck the tailbone. Lift through the pelvic floor. Open the chest. Arms in line with the shoulders. Gaze down those front fingertips. Gorgeous. Start to hinge forward with the left. Turn the palm up. Drop that left forearm to your left thigh and turn the right arm up and around. Extended side angles. So options. You can stay here. Remember, in all of these, heart is open. You can open your arms. So you want to make sure if you're doing that, shoulders are stacked, wrist to wrist in a straight line. You can take a bind. So you're going to bring the left arm underneath the left leg, the right arm over the top. And if you'd like to go further still, step that right foot forward and start to lift the bound leg, your left leg. Bring yourself into a balance, your bird of paradise. If you want to, you can try and straighten the leg here. Remember to keep enough in you to step out the way you came in, bringing yourself back to that bind. And from here, everyone is going to straighten that front leg and open the arms and bring yourself into your extended triangle. Gaze up at those right fingertips, really feel them reaching up towards the sky. Hips aligned, so remember to make sure, right hand to right hip, make sure the shoulder and the hip are aligned. You can also bring your hand into the small at the back. You want to make sure that your shoulders are stacked, so it doesn't matter where your hand is on that front leg, as long as everything is nice and aligned. And try not to lock out those knees, that's the hardest part for me. Take a breath here. Windmill those arms around on either side of that front foot. Bend that front knee. Step back into a high plank. And either pushing straight back into your downward facing dog, or tuck the elbows in, come down through chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing, and push back. Downward facing dog. Gorgeous, everybody. From here, take a breath and drop to your knees. Really nice. And we're just going to give ourselves a little cat-cow, get a little bit deeper into our spine. Lovely. Getting ready for our camel pose. So our camel pose is a deep extension of the spine. It's a big heart opener. It's also going to get into our shoulders. So we're just going to give ourselves a little shoulder stretch as well. So I want you to reach that right arm out in front. Take the left arm and just post it underneath the right, rolling onto your left shoulder. Thread the needle, so you can stay here, or if you want to add a little more, reach that right leg out in line with the left hand, parallel with the left hand. Deep breath. The further you reach those left fingers, the further you roll onto that left shoulder. Give me a breath here. Exhale, we release. Bring ourselves back to an all fours position. Take that left arm out in front, sliding the palm along the mat. The right hand's going to go underneath the left armpit. Send that left leg out in line with the right arm. If you'd like, you don't have to. Feel that nice opening in the shoulders. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a breath and release yourself back to center. Take a little child's pose. Heels together, knees apart, stretching the arms out in front. Inhale. And exhale to walk the hands back into an upright kneeling position. So we're going to take our camel pose. So we're going to come up into a high kneeling position. Your knees want to be about hip width apart, with your calves and feet parallel like train tracks out behind you. So wherever you get to in this pose is amazing. So some of us might have a really deep bend in the back. So for me, back bends are definitely the thing that I'm best at. So I can get a really good back bend. But whereas maybe I have zero strength. So with strength things, I'm not as good. So think about what your body feels good doing. Don't try and get super deep into a back bend that's going to end up hurting. So we're going to start. And just to say, always come out the way that you came in and always counter a back bend. So you can counter this with a child's pose. So when we come out, you're going to bring your palms back into the small of the back, and you're going to very gently drop your bum to your knees and reach your arms out in front and take it very slowly. So we're going to bring our palms into the small of our back. Take breath, align your body, start to gently push the hips forward, and as you do, you're going to look up towards the sky. Try not to wrinkle the forehead, try and make it a nice gentle movement. So maybe this is where we come to today. Keep the neck long, keep the shoulders down. If this is where we come to, this is beautiful, this is perfect, this is an extension, it's a heart opener, it's what we were aiming for. Maybe you feel you'd like to go a little deeper, so you could also take a half camel, which is dropping one hand back onto your ankle, reaching the other arm back. Maybe that feels good for you, or maybe you want to go the whole hog and reach both hands back, taking your palms to your heels, your fingers down over the backs of your feet. Push the hips forward, let the head roll back. So if at any point you feel like it's a little bit difficult to breathe, you feel any pain, you feel uncomfortable, bring yourself out the way that you came in. Pushing that pelvis forward. We're going to hold here now, if you're still with me, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently bringing your palms into the small of your back. Drop your bum to your heels very slowly, very gently. And walk the hands forward. Drawing your forehead to the mat. You want to give yourself a little curve in the spine here. So we always want to counter, well, we want to counter every pose really, which is why if we do things like a low lunge, we then do a half split, because we do the deep hamstring stretch one way, we do it the other way. But really deep things like back bends, you always want to make sure that you reset your spine. So if this child's pose is not cutting it for you, maybe do a little cat-cow, maybe give yourself a little wiggle here, a little loose, and I don't know if you're feeling tight today. I'm feeling particularly tight today, so maybe I need a little extra wiggle. Take a breath here. Untuck your legs. Bring your feet to the mat. Bring your arms out on either side of the legs and gently peel yourself down onto the mat. And I want you to do it slowly. Engage your core as you pull yourself down. So you want to feel each vertebrae
roll down onto the mat. This can be quite nice after doing a deep back bend. Keep that core engaged. Slowly, 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 slowly. Lovely. From here, arms out on either side. You're going to draw the knees towards the chest. And you're just going to bring the knees slightly higher than the pelvis and then drop them both over to the left and gaze to the right. So we're feeling that nice little gentle twist in the spine. So a supine twist is a nice way to start to bring us down onto the mat. To finish the class, deep breath. And exhale. And then gently roll the knees all the way across to the right and gaze to the left. Lovely. And bring yourself back to center. Hug the knees in towards the chest and gently start to rock from side to side to release the spine on the mat. This is what we really want to do. Give yourself a nice massage here. So we've done quite a lot of opening the heart. Take a breath here. And I want you to start to straighten your body out. Point your fingers, point your toes, reach the arms up above your head. And we're going to go for that full body stretch. So I want you to imagine that someone's got you by the fingers, someone's got you by the toes. They're pulling you from one side of the room to the other. So this wants to be the biggest stretch that you've done in the whole class. Tension in every single part of your body, fingers, toes, limbs. And I want you to forget everything that I've told you to do. Forget being elegant, forget keeping that neck long. Pull those shoulders up to the ears. Give yourself a billion double chins. Screw those facial features up. Make the ugliest face you've ever made in your life. Tension in every single part of your body. Your limbs should literally be shaking from this tension. Reaching, reaching, reaching. And while we're here, pouring all this physical tension in, I want you to gather up all your mental tension as well. What's stressing you out? What's pissing you off? What's getting to you? What's really upsetting you? Throw it all into the barrel. We're going to throw it all back out into the universe like a big old tension bomb. It's going to explode out there. And even if we just get rid of our stresses, our tension for 5 minutes, that's still amazing. So keep stretching, keep reaching, build it all up. Ugliest face you've ever made in your life, a million double chins. Keep reaching, keep reaching. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5. And 1. Let go. Bring your arms down by your side. Let your feet fall open. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Draw your feet together like palms and just let those knees drop open on either side of the mat. Supta Baddha Konasana, your reclined bound angle pose. So now you hopefully are feeling a little free of tension. If you want, you could grab a cushion or blanket to pop underneath the small of your back in this position. Take your hands either to the inner thighs or resting on your pelvis in a little heart shape, or one hand to the pelvis, one hand to the heart. And we just want to feel our breath now. Supta Baddha Konasana increases blood flow to our pelvic floor. It's a gentle hip opener. It's a very nice relaxing pose. It's good for getting us ready for Shavasana, getting us ready for sleep. Ladies, it helps with menstrual cramps. It can also be beneficial to do throughout pregnancy to help with childbirth. And we're just going to tap into our Kumbaka Breath, which is our breath retention, which we've been doing quite a lot recently. And what the aim of this breath is to get us ready for relaxation. So we're going to inhale, exhale, and hold for the same amount of time. So I'm going to count your breath. And when you hold at the bottom of the breath, it calms you down. So you would do this at the end of the class or before sleep or in the evening. And if you were to energize, you do an inhale, hold, exhale. And you might do that at the beginning of the class or in the morning, or if you need a bit of energy. So I want you to take a deep breath. We're going to inhale for 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4.
Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Feel free to continue in your own time, with your own rhythm. And start to get yourself ready for Shavasana. So maybe you want to draw those knees back into the chest and just give yourself one more little release of the spine, rocking from side to side. Maybe you want to just start to straighten yourself out onto the mat, feet and palms falling open. And take this time now to settle into your Shavasana. So if you want to dim the lights, pop some music on, light some candles, grab a drink of water, grab a blanket, grab socks, jumpers, grab a cushion. It's getting cold now, so it is going to be socks and jumpers weather soon. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring yourself down onto the mat. And I'm going to suggest that even people that maybe feel a little bit awkward about lying in silence at the end of a yoga class, just give it a try. It's nice to do it from home because you're not in a studio full of strangers, so you can get used to it. Think of it as your reward for working hard in your class. Think of it as you time. Think of it as relaxation. If you have meditation in your practice, then of course, please use the time for that. So we're going to bring ourselves down onto our mats, close the eyes, feet falling open, palms falling open. Take a deep breath, inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring yourself back to where you were at the beginning of the class. Checking in with your intention, opening your heart. Allow the breath to wash through you and start to filter out your surroundings. And then take your attention towards your feet. Feel them fall open on the mats, each toe unraveling one by one. Ankles, calves, knees and thighs lightweight. All the way up to the base of the spine, and feel each vertebrae unravel one by one. All the way up to the shoulders, and feel those shoulders melt down away from your ears, gliding down your spine. Arms lightweight at your side, palms open and fingers unwrapped. And pulling the shoulders further from the ears, allow the neck to grow long, head light, facial features soft, jaw unlocked, and teeth unclenched. Pulling the tongue away from the roof of the mouth, and then drawing your attention towards your breath. And that slow and steady rise and fall. That gentle rhythm. guiding you deeper into your mat as you inhale and exhale. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes to draw awareness back into your body. Hugging the knees into your chest and gently rocking from side to side to release your spine. Bringing yourself all the way over onto the right hand side into a fetal position. Then placing your palms in front of you and gently lifting the body, allowing your head to be the last thing to come up to seat. Palms on your knees, pull the shoulders down. And let's take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, let out a big deep sigh. And again, inhale. And one more for luck, inhale. Draw your palms together at your heart center. Thank you all so much for practicing with me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening and a lovely Friday. Namaste. So hopefully see you all on Saturday. Thank you so much, guys. So no class tomorrow, so I will see you all on Saturday, hopefully. Have a lovely, lovely Friday, everyone. The tension bomb. Yes, I'll bring it back. See you later, guys.